Hi guys! So I'm focusing on making a pattern on my leather fabric for the um, leather turban that I'm going to make. So this is going to be the part one of the video, and I do have this, what is the company name? I think it's called Angelus. This is pale blue. It's acrylic leather paint. And I was so busy trying to look for brushes. I pulled, I love makeup, so I have a million paint brushes that I said I'm sure it would work. I was doing all of that, and guess what? Let me shake this really good. It actually has a paintbrush attached. It almost looks like a nail polish type brush. So I actually am going to use that. And what better pattern to make than using puzzle pieces? Puzzle pieces ultimately make a pattern, right? They make a pattern and ultimately you get a picture. So I'm just going to start to I'm just going to outline my puzzle pieces with this blue. We'll see how difficult or how hard this will be. Okay, well, I'm glad I used this because it doesn't flow the way I want it to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little on a plate and work from there, because what it's doing is not giving me a consistent line. It's drying before, or running thin before I can finish. So let me get something to put my paint on and we'll try another brush. Basically just got a bowl that I've used for other things before. This is like dried up fabric stiffener that's coated it, but it's clean. And we're just going to start off with a little paint in there. And now I'm going to grab one of my makeup brushes and see which one works the best for me. Guess this is like a detailed brush. So I guess I just need my brush to absorb more of the paint. The brush it comes with doesn't absorb enough of the paint for me. Yeah, it seems to be doing fine with this detailed makeup brush. And this brush I used to use for, like, when you would put on, I guess, it's my dog drinking, he's very thirsty. In the corners of your eyes, you'd put maybe a dot of a lighter color to open up the eye. Or, yeah, put on some eyeliner. That was either like a cream eyeliner. Yeah. I would use it for that. I really don't use eyeliner as much. Do you guys use eyeliner as much? And let me get you a little closer. I'm sorry. There we go. Okay. Do you guys use eyeliner anymore? I don't. I feel like now it makes me look older. Maybe because under my eyes are a little bit darker. I don't know. I mean, of course, you can always do concealer, but I don't know. I was just like, I feel like my eye just looks younger, and cleaner without it. Because cleaner, by cleaner I mean like at the end of the day I don't have to worry about my liner running, you know? Oh, okay. Look at that. I'm gonna leave that there for a minute. I don't want to move it. So when I do these pieces, I'm not gonna put them too close together. Yeah, I'm gonna put them a distance apart. And I'm probably gonna do half of this material. This is about a yard on my table. Let it dry, let that half dry, and then come back and do the other half, because at some point I'm going to have to shift this material, and I don't want to shift it too much while one side is drying, because I won't know how to clean this and start over if, you know, anything smudges. So I'm going to take my time with this one. This is fun. This is almost as relaxing as doing a real puzzle. I don't know. Did you guys find putting puzzles together relaxing? I actually take that back. I don't think it was relaxing for me. I wanted to hurry up and figure out what not what the picture was, but I was like, come on, let's get it. I think I just wanted to get the job done. I think I've always been that way. You can use smaller puzzle pieces. I opted for bigger because I honestly didn't want this to take forever. I said I think I can get enough of the pattern that, yeah. You know, I'm having a summer spring collection, but I think I'm just having a, I don't know, maybe y'all can help me come, not a I'm coming out collection, because people are going to get the wrong idea. They're like, oh, she's coming out. No, it's not a coming out. It's, I don't know, my intro into the hat business. I don't know what to call it, because, so like this will be in my collection, right? But spring, summer, nobody's going to be wearing leather, are they? No, they're not. They're not. Fall, yes. Maybe spring, maybe the early part of spring. I don't know. Because we've all seen leather shorts. I feel like people wear leather shorts spring, fall. But it has to be quite pleasant outside. I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is it might be a little odd to show my collection when it's warm and I have leather as part of the collection. They're gonna be like, maybe I should just call it hat collection. Like, I don't know. Or should this even be a part of the collection? I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. But I tell you what, in my area, I feel like winters are getting longer. They're getting milder. They're milder than when I grew up. We used to have tons of nor'easters with snow and everything. But I feel like they're getting milder but lasting longer, you know? Well, I'm happy that the time changes here in March. I think it's I think it's in the teens, like March 18th, 19th, something like that. Anyway, it's about 10 weeks away, roughly 9 to 10 weeks away. I always look forward to that because I'm like, yes, honey. Yes, we need that extra sunlight. Makes a difference in my world, my personal world. So, I learned something today. I was watching a video, YouTube video, and this gentleman was saying, do you know, you may have seen it once you heard this quote. He said, we have been lied to because people say time is money. He said, that's a lie. He said, well, if that's a lie, what's the truth? The truth is time is greater than money. It's greater than money because money, if you lose it, you can get more. Time, if you lose it, you can't get it back. So that's why time is greater than money. And I will say this. He didn't, and the reasoning, I took it a little further in my brain. It clicked off something in me for me to think about something else. He did not add this next point. This next point is only my opinion. Is that now, day to day, right, in this world, we all have to make money in order to survive. We're trying to get money to survive, right? Well, I'm trying to see, is that enough? Well, with religion, I feel like, and no matter what your religion is, I feel like we're investing our time to get more time. So that means that, you know, whether you're working towards, you know, getting into the new system, whether your religion believes in heaven, you know, we're investing time in order to get more time. That was just my meditative thought on what he said. It just clicked that in me. Now, I am in no way a painter. My sister is an abstract painter. You can check out her site. It's called Wyn Art Gallery. I think it's WYN Art Gallery. She also has an Etsy page. Wyn Art Gallery. If it's not WYN, it's WIN. Wyn Art Gallery. Oh, goodness. You know what? I'm going to put it down in my description because I want to get it right. Her art is worth taking a look at and investing in. Her art is wonderful. And at first, she does abstract art. And at first, I was like, abstract art is just throwing paint in and messing it up. Not messing it up, but you know, just going in and having fun. But the videos I've seen on abstract art are quite interesting. They are very thought out, and they have specific methods, different methods that they do for abstract art. But I see why it's therapeutic to her. This is not art for me. I'm just basically tracing puzzle pieces to create a pattern. Hello, guys. Well, it's the next morning, top of the morning, or afternoon, or evening to you, wherever you are in the world. So, I'm gonna pan into the fabric I was working on last night, but can I tell you I did two? So, this is like a chocolate, milk chocolate, Napa lamb fabric. It's leather. Don't come after me, y'all. And it, can I tell you, the leather acrylic paint dried so quickly. I feel like it was dried 15 minutes after I finished. I'm serious. I mean, I was going through testing it. I was like, nothing smudging, nothing smearing. Like, this really feels dry. But I just made sure in case I had some pockets that had a little bit more paint. I said, well, it's not going to hurt to just let it do its thing overnight. But you don't have to wait 24 hours or anything like that. Like, this only takes, I would say, just to be on the safe side, give it about 2 or 3 hours. And you're going to be good. But I'm just so tickled um, with my painting. And if you're not an artist, I'm not an artist, um, get shapes that you like and use them as stencils. You know, it's as simple as that. You don't have to be an artist to do this. So, in order to cut our fabric, we're going to use this is a 23 size head block, and the flat side is in the front, and where the little curvature is in the back, it's meant to kind of resemble the back of our heads. So because I'm using a 23-inch head size block, and basically that means if someone were to take a tape measure, measure their head, and it's 23 inches, that's the type of block you use. If you don't have a block, use your head. So you basically take the tape, and you kind of want it to be about an inch above the ear, inch above the brow, and then bring it on around wherever that tape stops. Bring it up, look at the number. Now I'm 25 because of my twist. Okay, my head is not this big, y'all. But I'm doing a 20. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing a smaller head size because everybody doesn't wear braids. But I do know what size to do it if someone wears braids or locks, or, well, depending on the locks, because locks can be small, like sister locks, or they can be really big locks. So it all depends. But we're gonna do it for a smaller size head shape today. Okay, so let's get popping, shall we? I'm going to pan the camera down to the table. There we go. Can you see? I hope so. All right. So, putting this head block aside, you want to just fold your material so that it comes to a curve or a triangle. Just fold it almost like a bandana, if you will. Okay? Sorry, I don't have wide zoom. Now, you want that dip, kind of like that handkerchief point or curve if you have leather. You want it to be half of your head size. So remember, our head size is 23, right? So half of 23 is what, 11 and a half, right? So I'm going to make sure this dip, this point is at least, actually, we're going to do it at 12 inches. You know why? Because I'm going to cut this about an inch longer than our head size. I have a little chalk here. So we're going to make this dip 12 inches. Okay. I'm just okay, so this is 12 inches from the tip. Where to go? Actually, this is 12 inches. Okay. There we go. And now, taking that center point, we're going to make sure that 12 is in the middle. And we're going to cut across 24 inches from that point. Okay, so where's our 12? Come on, 12. Yep, get 12 in the middle. 24. Okay. 24 is here. Here. And now we're gonna just take this. We know where we're starting. We know where we're ending. And I'm just going to make a line using some chalk that can easily be smudged out. You don't have to wash it out. Perfect. So now we're going to cut our little triangle or our curve. Okay. The way you cut the straightest line is you just don't completely close your scissor. Always keep it open as you go. Okay. This stops here. Yeah. And this stops here. Just kind of curve it around. Now I'm going to drape it around my head and see what's happening, okay? So you want to drape it with that dip going forward. Yeah. Wow. Perfect. So now I will say this. Okay, so we're back. And you want to make sure that this is true to size. So you don't want this in the front. It's going to want to lift up. Make sure the front, there's no loose sections like this. You really want to make sure, bring it down. You truly want it to fit. It's going to be tight in the back, but that's okay because we're doing this to fit. And I'll show you once I start pinning. I just need to make sure the front is laying straight. Good. Okay, it is. Front is laying straight. And now the back, don't worry about the top not falling over. That's going to come together. We are going to line up our edges, make sure they match, and then we're going to start to pin. So this is important because you want to pin very firmly against the head. You don't want to loosely pin like this. You literally want to get in nice and firm. Okay. Get in as close as you can. Where are we? Where did it go? Where did it go? Okay, for this I'm gonna lay it down because I need to see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay. Well, okay. Let's see here. Going through one side. Come on. Come out through the other. Oh, that's low. You know what? Let me come down the other way. How about that? Let me do that. Yeah. It's more room. There we go. Okay. Between these two pins. Good, 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 good. Now, I am going to, what am I going to do? Yeah. So now I'm going to do a back stitch down this seam here, okay? Now that we have done our back stitch down that back seam, now we are basically going to do, I guess, what they call a running stitch up the side here. We're still using double your thread, and we're really just gathering the just come in and out. You're gathering your material. Kind of like, yeah, you want it to kind of cinch, and if you, at this point, if you want to pull this up so you have, let's see, you can easily, yeah, we're gonna just kind of go in and out, in and out. Till you go all the way up. That's out. Now we're going in. Keep going up. Just in and out. Okay. Here we go. Let's put more focus on this. and kind of come close to the edge. Don't go too far outside of the edge. I want to say maybe I'm 1/8 of an inch. And we're going to do it till we reach the center top of this leather. Just in and out, in and out. Okay. Okay, my top is up here. This is kind of thread am I using? It's polyester thread, and I don't see the color, but it matches my, I guess it's like a royal blue, would you say? What's your favorite color blue? My couch is blue. My walls are different shades of a light blue. Even at, where I work, my salon is blue. People ask me my favorite color. I say purple, but I would not decorate with purple. I would decorate my house with purple. I mean, I would maybe a room, maybe a bathroom or something. But who knows? Maybe my next home I will decorate with purple. Get a nice maybe eggplant couch, yeah, and then do maybe some light pastels around it. Yeah, I could do that. I am running out of thread, y'all. This was not supposed to happen. But what's supposed to happen is you can gather it like this. Do I have to reach the top if I'm running out? Because this is hard to gather if you stop and start again. Let me see. Oh. Okay. I think we're good enough. Okay, so then you just take that, gather all your material, bunch it up. There you go. Look at that, I have more room. Once you pull it down, you realize you have more thread. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Because I don't think am I at the center? Top? I don't feel like I'm at the peak. Yeah, I have a little ways to go. A little ways to go. Yep, I'm at the top. Okay, good. Whew, we made it. I think you realize you have more once you cinch it. There we go. Then once you cinch it, now we're going to start to do a back stitch on this side, closing that up, connecting it, the two fabrics together. And I think I may have enough to do that. Yeah, I think so. Okay. I think so. So we'll speed it up a bit, right? So you don't have to, I think. How do I speed up the, I'll tell you. It's hard being the videographer and the artist. Where is my nieces and nephews when I need them? Okay. All right. So this, I have to turn over so I can see my other stitch. So we're just going to do a back stitch here, okay? Okay, so this is one side that's done and gathered. Now we have to do the same, do a running stitch all the way around here, and then we're going to gather that down so that that both of them look the same. Okay, so on one side we really had to only gather one side. This one we have to gather two sides. So I'm going to start furthest away from that back seam, same place I really started on the other side. Okay, and then I'll come back when I gather it so you can see. We are almost to the end here of our running stitch. At some point I'm gonna learn how to speed up the camera so I don't have to come in and out of focus. Don't mind my ashy knuckles, y'all. It just comes with being brown skin. Okay. Yeah, okay. I think now for the fun part, to see it all gather. Once you do that running stitch, you can start to see it gather. You just bring it in tighter. Then you can kind of loosen up the front. So that you can work with the back more easily. Yeah. And you don't have to worry about closing anything up because our last bit of fabric is going to wrap around this hat, handmade hat, and the wrap is what makes it a turban. So it's going to cover this. If you have a little bit showing, it's okay because none of this we're going to see. This is just what's going to be underneath that last bit of fabric. Now we're going to go back and do a back stitch and make sure that this all is tight. Okay. Okay, so now we need to make the wrap part. So I just measured the part I wanted to cover, right? Because we want to cover this. So if I go on the top of that down to the bottom, it measures at 5 inches. We're not going to do exactly because I have to sew this to it. So we're going to give it another inch. So do it an inch past. So I'm going to do 6 inches in width. And with length, you can go as long as you want because we can always cut more later, because I have had a wrap that was too short before and I couldn't do much with the tie. So my length, I believe, is at 31 inches, which is, you know, if this is a head circumference of 23, then that goes past at least 8 inches, is it? Okay. So this is how it's gonna go. Can you guys see? Hi. So now that I've cut it, you see this is what's gonna go in the front. And look, 31 inches and it's still just barely a tie. And we're gonna make that work. But that was the longest length of fabric I had, and you see how it's going to cover the back. So we're just going to find the middle. Make sure our length is even. Okay. find a pin. Okay, this is our middle back. So what we're gonna do is now we're gonna take this off. Don't mind me, I got my girls behind me. Say hey, girl. Got my material behind me. Y'all know what your workspace looks like when you be working. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is, we already know where our center back is, because remember that was the very first back stitch seam we did. I put a pin for the middle of this fabric, and now we're just going to, I took that out too fast. Let's see, I just need to make sure those front two pieces line up with that back seam. So you don't want to get to the front and then it's asymmetrical, your tie. Okay, there we go. All right. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start to pin this together. Yeah, and you can match it up almost exactly. So the inside of your fabric is going to be facing you as you pin this around the base of your turban. Make sure you line everything up. And basically what we're going to be doing is a back stitch. Or if, you know, you have a sewing machine, go at it. I'm going to be getting a hat sewing machine. You know what? I'm going to do this horizontal, these pins. In a couple of weeks, it's being prepared for me, and it's a machine from the 1800s when they made sewing machines just for hats. So I'm excited. It's simple with what it can do. It really only does like a chain stitch, but it's gonna be useful. It likes to sew in circles, and my hats are all gonna have a circle base at least. So I'm excited, and this Napa lamb is soft enough. Test it first, but when I learned how to do this, she used the same machine, old 1800s hat sewing machine with this Napa. So okay, so now we're going to do the other side. You're going to do it all the way around, a complete circle. Complete circle. I will say polyester thread is not my favorite. It buckles, knots up, tangles. But for this job, it's strong, and I feel like it holds my leather together really well. I'm sure once I do this in the future, once I've experimented with enough fabric, with enough threads on different fabric, I'll probably know a better one to use in the future. But please put in comments, you know, if you sew with leather, real leather, you know, what thread do you prefer to use? I'd love to know. Okay, almost at the ends here. I just might. I think I have enough fabric for another turban. So I only got 1 yard, and you at least need a half a yard. And I think, you know, I was really tight with my measurements, that I don't feel like I wasted any fabric. I feel like I'll be able to. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, still when you sew it, it's still a little asymmetrical. That's okay, because when you tie it, you know what I mean? It's okay if one side is going to hang a little longer than the other. If you're not okay with that, then be my guest and restitch yours to where you think, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start stitching from the back. I am going to do a back stitch. I will say I do feel like this is probably, because I've sewn it, I mean, I've used such tight measurements. I know this is a head size 23, but it fits kind of tight. I feel like it would fit perfectly for a woman who has a 22 and a half circumference head. That's what I'm feeling. So we're going to back stitch this, and then we're going to do the fun part together, is tying the front and having our turban. All right, guys. Did I tell you how much I'm looking forward to getting that sewing machine? It does make life easy. All right, so I finished back stitching the underside of the wrap of the turban. That's going to go over the cap part. Okay, so I did a back stitch. It's not perfect, but when I fold it over, you're not going to see anything. So now what we're going to do, so this is the way it should look. Okay, when you're done, now we're going to flip that part up. And I'm going to put it on the mannequin head, the styrofoam head. It's a little big on her, but it should be, because this is the styrofoam heads are small. They're not really the same shape as human-sized heads. And I have to put this on center because this doesn't move around. So center, let me find my center back. There we go. Okay. So now that it's on her, do I need to pull this up a little bit? Okay. You see that part, all of that we gathered and sewed together? It's about to be covered up. So you're basically going to lift that. See how it covers over the back? So that's why I said, you know, when you're stitching that first section, don't worry about it. Don't worry about having it perfect. Okay, so now this part we're gonna leave organic. Let me see. I'm gonna tie this, but it's not gonna be perfect, okay? Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, okay. It doesn't even have to be a tie, it could just be a twist because these are kind of short. We're gonna get this. So I'm gonna play with this a little bit. You could do one section showing. Am I twisting it? Let me see what happens here if I pull it through, if I tie a knot. No, I know. We are going to okay. Now what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna worry about the front later, is I don't want these raw edges showing. So I'm gonna bend them ever so slightly and I'm gonna go through and just basically do a tunnel and pick stitch in here. So you can't see it. So it still looks gathered, but you won't be able to see the raw edges because I'm gonna bend them under like this. Still covering our section, but I'm just gonna bend it ever so slightly, not a lot. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna come back when everything's done, okay? See you. Okay. Don't judge me. I'm still not finished, but I'm finished with this video. This was much more challenging than I thought it would be, okay? I'm gonna get better at it because it's challenging. I must get better at it. But the takeaway is I am gonna wait for my machine to get through it because the first two parts I showed you where you cut the material, you take the, you drape it onto your head or the head block, and then you do the back stitch, and then you do a running stitch and gather it. To me, all of that was quick. What took the most time was doing the seam at the bottom that covers over everything. Doing that back stitch and then coming here and tacking in the pieces. I mean, I wasn't prepared for how long it was gonna take. This has taken me hours, but you know what? The first one will, especially if you want it to uh, to be good. You know what I mean? And I do. So this is our girl. Isn't she lovely? So I'm gonna spin her around so you can see the material. The finished product. And again, I do have to tack this in. So, okay. Play with the measurements. Play with the measurements. I still have some more measurements I want to play with. Because of this type of leather, I didn't want to have too much material. I just wanted to use what we needed. So I made my next one a little bit bigger. I've already cut up my material and it is waiting for my sewing machine. Who is that woman that is on that? What is it? She's wearing a red bandana. I think she symbolizes the I don't know, the women's rights movement. Maybe it's a woman with a bandana and she kind of is putting her fist up. It's an older picture. It's from the 50s or 60s. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Well, next time I see that picture, next time y'all see that picture, put some respect on that head wrap, okay? Because it is not as easy as you think. Now, you can do a head wrap with one piece, don't get me wrong. But for the more intentional head wraps that you want to be maybe a little dressy, a little retro, there is a pattern, there is a technique that's used. With leather, you got to get those measurements right, because even though working with the leather, the material is stretchy and you don't need to cut on the bias, once you sew it, you know, it's not going to stretch on the client initially when they first try it on. Over time, you know, we know leather stretches over time, but it's going to fit. It's going to be more of an exact fit for the head shape. So when you're doing a leather turban, those measurements got to be right. But good thing is I'm playing with several, writing it down as I go, for different head sizes and shapes. And yeah, but it's been fun. It's been fun. And I can't wait to do more. I can't wait to cut up this material and use this with different measurements. I really am excited. And I'm also, I will say, the polyester thread and leather, I'm going to look for a better thread. I've been reading about Kevlar thread. What type of thread do you guys use when sewing with leather? I would love to know. Any suggestions, please let me know. Because with polyester, if I have too much tension, it's popping. And that can be really frustrating. And I think that was part of my delay and not finishing it as quickly as I would have liked, is I was fighting with the thread. I was having to rethread all the time. And you know, leather's durable. You want your stitching to stay where it is. You don't want it to loosen up after you add tension. So polyester feels strong, but I don't really feel like it's a match for leather. So I will be finding a better thread. All right, till next week, guys. Bye.